folks. If anyone's watching, I don't know if anyone's going to be around. Um, I just decided to throw this little live together to unbox this 4 pack from McFarlane Toys that I just got from June Part 2. Um, so yeah, I'm just trying to just set up as I go. Bear with me, folks. I'm just going to try and put you in a phone stand. It's weird. I was trying to do it horizontally, but that's all right. That's all good. It's fine. It is what it is. Yeah. So, the McFarlane Toys Dune figures. I only ever picked up Paul from the first film. And just by the time I got around to picking it up, the rest was sort of it's sort of hard to come across, and there was only the 4 figures, and I kind of thought, well, maybe I'll wait and see whether they do more for Dune Part 2, because it didn't look like there was going to be a second wave of them coming out for Part 1. Because I was expecting to sort of see Chani and, even Gurney. But they did Paul, they did Stilgar, they did Duncan Idaho and Lady Jessica. So, I only picked up the one. And now I've got Duncan Idaho on the way as well. But yeah, I absolutely adored Dune. Loved Part 2 so much. Um, hey Linda, how are you? Hope you're well. I've just noticed the chat popping up down the bottom. I don't usually do live streams on my phone, so this is different. So I just literally just got home from work for the day. So yeah, I thought I'd just run through this. I've had watched a couple of people's unboxings, and yeah, I just thought, why not? So yeah, McFarlane Toys, I'm just going to start cutting the tape. You take a look around. Paquet de four. My good friend Fallen Jedi, and Tim's here. What's up, Tim? Glad you could tune in. Yeah, bit of a bit of a random one this afternoon. Just sort of hanging out, like I said. I just got home from work. Yeah, picked this up on Amazon. So it had to come all the way from the States. There's some of those particular, the 4 pack here and the 2 packs, didn't come out, haven't released anywhere in Australia, and there's been very few retailers of the single figures. So like I said, I've gone back. I found Duncan from the first film. He's on its way. And I've also picked up Fade Rautha and Emperor Shaddam 4 from Dune Part 2. So they're on the way too. So I'm glad I sort of held out. Yeah, like I said, the other one I want to pick up from. Actually, I do want to get the rest from the first film, just because yeah, I wouldn't mind finishing the Beast Rabban builder figure. So I'm making 3 heavy Mandos ammo pouches. Nice. So yeah, that just, the thing with well, that's what I love about McFarlane. Sometimes the toys and stuff could be slightly hit and miss. I've sort of enjoyed collecting quite a few of the DC multiverse. I've recently just sold a lot off, just in order to really focus on Star Wars again. I always do that. I always get deep into a collection. So yeah, here's the cards. So pretty much the same as what's on the box. The fact that they add that little bit extra, you feel like you're getting a little bit more for your buck, and it's cool. Like, it's not necessary, they don't have to, but it's cool. The stands are always good. McFarlane's worked out the universal peg hole system for all the feet of all their figures, which I dare say Hasbro could take a lesson from for a lot of their figures. And yeah, sure, they like McFarlane do have a lot of reuse. Which, not to say Hasbro doesn't, but to be able to make sure, they can put a stand in a pack of figures and know that any, 99% of McFarlane figures from the last few years are gonna work on this stand. So, through four of these, so that's cool. So the figures all piled in there, all the plastic. They're not afraid about using plastic. So yeah, I'm just gonna sort of use my little blade here just to cut through all the rubber bands that I can see. Looks like there's only sort of two on each. So yeah, like I said, I only got Paul from the first movie, and I really, really do like that figure. So I'm excited to check this one out. So I reckon we'll just go through one by one and take a look at these figures. I'm gonna pop Gurney out and his two weapons, two blades. I'm just gonna move them out the way. Let's see if I can focus a little bit here. All right, we're just going to go from a distance. Yeah, never mind. I'm just going to go from the distance. Maybe I'll take some close-up shots. But yeah, pretty good likeness to Josh Brolin as Gurney Halleck. I think he looks good. I'm pretty sure this is the same, the same body here as Stilgar, played by Javier Bardem. Yeah, such a great cast in this film, or in these films. Tim, yeah, Hasbro did, even when they, like the Clone Wars days, yeah, they used to do it a lot. I'm not sure what changed, whether it's just budget, just trying to save an extra dollar here and there. But yeah, I like these. I like the look. Going for a slightly more sort of weathered look for these Dune Part 2 figures. So I'm trying to focus on, but it doesn't want to. I'm a bit of a noob when it comes to live on the phone. We usually do it on a webcam, but that's all right. There's his sword. It's got the little, you can barely see it, but there's the little Atreides sigil etched into it. It's nice. Blade there. Looks cool. Tim says, saying, I'm hoping Hasbro makes some changes now that they have Steve Evans on the Star Wars team again. Yeah, I don't know. I like Steve. I think he does a great job, and you just, under when been in charge in the past, he cares. He cares a lot. And not to say that, the teams for the past few years haven't cared. The fact that, he's very much a toy collector, toy consumer. He understands how we feel, and he's very personable. I got to meet him at Star Wars Celebration in Orlando in 2017, and he was, he took some time, had a good chat with him for about 5 or 10 minutes, and yeah, he was wonderful. Fugman4 says, I hate Joe Biden. That's cool. Each to their own. I'm not spouting politics here. It's not my place, especially American politics, Not to say it doesn't have an impact on me here in Australia. It absolutely does, but, don't really have a say. We got our own stuff happening down here. So yeah, while I'm at it, I'll go Stilgar. I'm going to get his. So he's got his Chris knife, made from the tooth of the Shah Hulud, which is awesome. Yeah, still go. Same figure build. I was about to say he's a little bit shorter, but I haven't put him on a stand yet. So yeah, Daniel Aaron Chart says face sculpts and paint is getting better and better, big time. I'm Yeah, it's sort of come a long way since the old 5 inch Walking Dead figures, which weren't terrible, but I think if McFarlane can get to the point where they can do sort of photoreal paint applications like Hasbro are doing now, boy, they're in for some wins. Particularly when they can do characters like this that they do share similar statures and body builds and same outfits. It goes the same with all the superheroes. There's a lot of characters that use the same sort of build of body, and they can get multiple uses out of them. It's from a business standpoint, there's absolutely benefits. Um, and the fact that they aren't sort of, I imagine these are factory painted. I'm not sure, but there's enough differentiating sort of patterns in terms of the weathering and the look of the sand that they do stand apart from each other, which is nice. So I'll give him his. The hands are very, very stiff, so I'm going to heat them up before I put weapons in the hand. I don't want to risk breaking them. So there's Stilgar and Gurney together. Funny. Excited about this one. I'm going to get her accessories out. Her and Paul share the same accessories, so I'll just share these once. I can't think of the names of these things, but the claws. They've got the extended out things that they hook onto the back of the sandworms in order to ride them. Um, you know what? I may even customize a pair of them and add like a longer wire. I don't know. I might just keep them as is. Who knows? So they're cool. So they're nice. And the thumper, which is used to, sort of, this is a solid piece. Place it in the sand, and the little top comes out and just thump, thump, creates the beat that attracts the sandworms. So that's cool. I like that. Don't know where I'm going to put it, but it just stands there. So Charlie looks cool. This is nice. Yeah, this version they've both got the breather in the nose. I'll be tempted to get their other versions because they do have single box releases, which I think pretty much for the most part are the same figure. A little bit of extra soft goods. I think they've got a sort of black. Paul has a black cape as well that he wears later in the film in part two. But I think pretty sure this is sharing the same body as Lady Jessica. As Jessica from the first one. But what I do love about the cape is the hood. It's all wired, which is great. I love that. You can sort of get that up over the head. Flex it around. I'll play with it a little bit more when I haven't got a phone sitting in between me. But being able to have the wide cape, sort of pose that up, twist it. Make it look awesome. Depict a scene of him sort of standing up on the dunes. Doing the sand walk. But she looks good. And I like the nice likeness to Zendaya. I think, I'm growing to like her as an actress more and more. And more I see her. I think it's definitely Spider-Man No Way Home that definitely increased my liking of her. Very sort of, I don't know. I like her sort of spunk and attitude in that film. And yeah, Far From Home as well. I said, but yeah, I did like her in Dune Part One. Yeah, that's nice. Looks good. She looks good. Let's pop her on a stand. Yeah, I'm hoping to get out to see part two again. Oh, hopefully in the next week. I was thinking about doing it this weekend, but I'm not sure. I'll see how it go. Very soon though, I need to get a second viewing in. I watched part one again last week. It's just, I don't know. There's something about part two. It felt like more of an experience than just going to watch a movie in the cinema. It was definitely, yeah, more of an experience. So he's Paul. He's got the breather. He's got the blue eyes. Him and Chani both got the blue eyes. The spice inflicted blue eyes. Again, he's got the hood. Yeah, I don't know. I think I might try and get a hold of the singular versions as well, just to have the extra bits and pieces. But again, sort of fully wired. You know, that's nice. You can do a lot with that. Yeah, exact same build as the same figure as the last Paul. You know, I don't know whether these two are any different, to be honest. If they are, I'm not picking it. You know, maybe this. I reckon they're potentially the same body. Like that maybe hers is sort of posed the way she is, sort of slightly more arched back, gives her a little bit more of a feminine sort of stance. But they look good. They do. They look really nice. I don't know. I kind of feel like the first version of Paul from part one, the likeness of the face is probably a little bit more accurate, but you know, with the sort of the breather in the nose, the blue eyes, it's sort of a little bit obstructed. Full 100. I rewatched part one the other night, going to see part two Monday. Once wasn't enough. Definitely not. Definitely not. It's no one, no one and done with this film. There's no way. It's just I don't know. Like I said, it feels like an experience, like you've just had an awakening or something watching that movie, which doesn't happen enough these days with films. I hope it really, I hope it really does, you know, incredibly well. I hope it sort of, you know, shows Hollywood just, reboots and remakes and sequels to 40-year-old films don't always have to be that way. You know, granted, Dune is a reboot, but at the same time, you know, it's a story that's been told. It's stuck to its source material. It's not they've let the creators and the filmmakers make the story need to be what it is rather than I don't know. Not every film needs to have the Avengers Endgame big team up finale. Not everything has to be, I don't know, just got to be able to tell good stories and let them fold out the way they need to. People will be attracted to a good story more so than a I don't know how to say it, a focus group driven story. You know what people might like, what do they want to see. Just tell a damn good story. I just watched the Sci-Fi Channel 2000 series of Dune just over the last week or two. Just had that insatiable appetite for more. So that's what I did. I went and watched it. And it's okay. It's very much of the time, which it's ridiculous to think just to think that yeah, it's 25 years, almost at that point. Fallen Jedi. As of now, I prefer part one, but that might change. Ooh, you know what? Like part one is incredible and beautiful in its own way. Um, so I get what you mean. I absolutely. But part two really kicks it into gear. Um, but yeah, no, like I said, I rewatched part one on Tuesday. I was home, put the home theater system on, surround sound. I had my TV was backlit, and just sort of felt the sort of atmosphere. It was actually hot. We had we had a couple of quite hot days here, so definitely had the ambient heat. Probably not as hot as it is on Arrakis, but Gurney any sword. I wish I could have this in focus a little bit more, but it does not want to play. But hey, this is just a little learning thing for me at the moment. Live streaming on my telephone. But yeah, nice. I hope to see McFarlane do some more characters. I'd love to see they did with the first film. They did a larger scale version of Baron Harkonnen, and he was sort of a nice figure as opposed to these being like 7-inch sort of scale. Yeah, a little bit bigger than your Black Series and Marvel Legends. There's sort of that Diamond Select scale for that sort of 7-inch sort of standard. Um, so I hope they do more. I'd like to see them do a Baron Harkonnen in this scale, because Stellan Skarsgård once again blowing the world away with his portrayal of a character. He's just fantastic. I'd love to see them do a figure of I don't know how to pronounce her name, Liet Kynes from the first one. She didn't make it through. Um, in the book that was a male, but they decided to change that up, which I haven't got a problem with. Let's still go with his Chris knife. It looks good. Yeah, I'll decide when I get the Fade Routher whether I go and get the 2-pack one, but I probably won't. I don't know if I need all the different versions. And that comes with yet another Paul, same outfit and everything, just with a little bit of with the blood on his cheek and stuff like that. So Roman King says the figures are just too bleh. I don't know what bleh is. I'm assuming say a little bit bland. This is a build a figure line. No, this one isn't. This one isn't build a figure. They haven't done it with the second series. They did that with the first film. They did a sort of a build a figure, but not with these. Not this time. Just because they've done, this 4-pack. They did, and they've done two or three. I think they've done three 2-packs as well, because they do another one with Stilgar with a different head, with the other lady. I can't think of her name, blanking on it. Bit of a strange name. Then there's another Gurney Halleck here that comes with Rabin with a whip. Then there's Paul and Fade Routher. And I think they're the three. They got 3 2-packs. But yeah, I'm digging these guys. I'm liking these figures. I'm looking forward to spending some time the biggest figure looks good aesthetically. Yeah. Oh, Josh Brolin. What's not to like about him? He's a cool dude. Yeah, these two are definitely the same build of body mold, just different heads. But the likeness is pretty damn good. Would have liked to see Sting play Fate again. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he might be he might be on the older side. I was going to say maybe maybe in June Messiah, but no, he's not. He's no longer around. No, I don't know. Yeah, Sting, he had an interesting look. I actually just got the Blu-ray. Um, it's got the Blu-ray of the 1984 one come in the mail yesterday. I thought I had it, and I went digging for it. And I don't know. I was certain I had that film on Blu-ray. Maybe I had it on a DVD at some point. But yeah, I managed to find it pretty cheap on eBay, so I grabbed it, and that came in yesterday. So I'm gonna give that a rewatch. Girlfriend was looking at it yesterday, and she's like, "Oh, I remember that film. That film gave me nightmares as a kid." Well, I can see why. Harkonnen, gives you the Baron gives you fear of ever getting like a cold sore and acne or something like that. He is terrifying. Yeah, I'm gonna get down to the beach at some point and get some photos. I reckon, just the silhouettes of these figures look great. Just having that standing up on the. And Tim says there's a limited edition Blu-ray of the 1984 version. June might be out. Yeah, I think I just got a standard one. I know, DVDs and Blu-ray releases are very different here in Australia. For one, Disney no longer, this isn't Disney related, but Disney no longer does home media for us here in Australia, which is annoying. Um, so yeah, a lot of the new films, anything under Disney's banner, we can't get on home video here in a home media here in Australia anymore. So those beautiful steel books that are coming out for Star Wars shows and any of the Marvel movies, which I spent years collecting the Blu-rays and 4K discs. I can no longer add any more of those unless I buy them off Amazon, get them from the States, in which case they're usually the wrong region. You can't watch them anyway. But yeah, we certainly don't get the marketing versions, the heavy marketing that you guys get in the US. It's very very different kind of beast over there to here. King says, "Did I understand correctly? The Emperor's turned into a giant immortal worm over a slow amount of time, and this young kid is aiming for that." Uh, Necessarily, it's Paul's son, so that comes up in kicks off Children of Dune, then goes into God Emperor of Dune, and basically, yeah, he merges with I don't know how to say it, sort of fuses his body with a sandworm, and he lives to rule for about 3,500 years. Which if you could live for 3,500 years, why wouldn't you become a worm? Yeah, go search for some artwork for Leto Atreides 2, God Emperor of Dune. There's some crazy artwork. I'd love to see that in live action cinema one day. I think that'd be absolutely wild. But you guys have Via Vision, which is putting out some great Blu-rays and DVDs. I don't even know what Via Vision is, to be honest. Sting's too old, unfortunately. I do love the Lynch version. It's definitely a cult classic, isn't it? Neutral colors look great on film, kind of lackluster on action figures. I see where you're coming from. Definitely, they've got their own aesthetic. I would love to see them do like, some of the Bene Gesserit, like, and Jessica from part two as the Reverend Mother. I think some of those outfits are just absolutely insane. Like they're so good. I hope the costuming sort of department gets some awards for that next year. Yeah, Tim says here, I think Paul's son Leto starts to turn into a sandworm, definitely. It was in the second sci-fi channel miniseries called Children of Dune, which I'm gonna start watching very, very soon. I remember seeing snippets of it, but yeah, I was, didn't know enough about it. Whereas now I'm sort of very invested in the universe over the last few years. But yeah, Roman King. I wouldn't want to be a 3,000-year-old worm, no matter how powerful I'd be. Gonna pass on that. Fair enough. Fair enough. No, that's a long ass time. Susan Sarandon's in Children of June. She is, yeah. A very, very young James McAvoy. Would have been very early in his career, playing Leto Atreides too. But yeah, I've got the figures open. I'm happy. I'm home. I'm ready to go make myself a bit of a cup of coffee, sit and relax for a little bit, think about some dinner. Um, yeah, thanks everyone for coming and hanging out while I bust open some Dune figures. I'm excited to spend a bit of time hanging out with these. They're pretty cool. Yeah, I've got a live stream coming up this weekend. I'll be talking to it's hanging out with Richard from Star Wars Obsessed. He's here on YouTube. The real Star Wars Obsessed on Instagram. You should be able to find it on my channel on my homepage. I've got a playlist of upcoming live streams. You should be able to find it there, as well as a couple others I've got planned for the next few weeks. I've got talking with a fella called Brian. He goes by Metal Jedi. Talking to him in another week, I think. Yeah, so I've got Richard this week. Next week I've got Brian, and then early April I've got Tony, also known as Darth Phoenix 619, longtime YouTube friend. Um, yeah, looking forward to chatting with all those guys. It's been a long time coming. I'm looking forward to starting to line up. Yeah, I want to get another guest on for April, and then start looking forward to May. Trying to lock in a couple per month. So I appreciate everyone tuning in. For those that don't know, yeah, I do a live stream series probably every couple of weeks. I trying to sort of regiment it a little bit more. Called Star Wars Fan Chat, getting to know your fellow Star Wars fan, and just talking, having a nice casual chat, learning about who people are as Star Wars fans, and just having some good fun. Roman King, I'll sub to your channel, cool stream, even though I got the tail end of it. Hey, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that. Thanks for chucking in some comments in the chat and sharing your thoughts. And yeah, hope to see your name pop up again in future streams. It's good fun. Yeah, yeah. This is very sort of one off. It's not very often I stray away from the Star Wars on my channel. Obviously, the Force is with Jesse. That's the thing. But yeah, sort of do like to sort of trail off sometimes. But yeah, thanks everyone. We'll catch up with you later on. May the force be with you always, and let the spice flow.